Hello, my name is Drew Bailey. My email or Facebook account is Drew Bailey. Twitter account DrewBailey9996, 39 and 6 at gmail.com. Gmail address is the same. All lowercase DrewBailey9996 at Gmail. And my educational email is bail.drew@isu.edu. Putting together 3 EXEs. EXE is just going to be a compilation of different ideas I'm coming up with, and I want to work on a broader scope with you, with people in the field, people in industries, broad industries, just kind of relay some ideas to build them progressively and to make something broader on a broader scope. In regard to benefits, money, things I want to offer, I really just want to offer the idea, and I'm hoping to work on a free scope network to build newsletters, chat rooms, broader games. How I would intend to do it is by showing you some information about numbers, combinations, Freemason, Illuminati, skull and bones, whatever you want to call it. I start with 33, which is king. I have queen, 2 actually, 32, queen, 32. Those break down into 16. Starting to see a pattern here. That's 4 castles, and then we go 8, which is a horse by 8, or knight, whatever you like to call it. If you don't play chess, you don't really necessarily have to. If you like pyramids or pyramid schemes, or you're into the Egyptians, ISIS, or anything else that makes people wonder why I just said that, because if you study Pharisees, you'll see the ISIS, the Torah, the Quran, it's all used on a broader scope to kind of bring the past back to the present. In regard to setting this out, in regard to doing this, I'm not attempting to recruit. What I'm actually attempting to do is build multi-level, faceted platform context that's going to revolutionize the way that we design, the way that things are invented, and the way that we reflect on how the internet plays out and how the internet has played into our everyday life, so that we can make a multitasking network that is designed as we being number 2s. I'm a number 2, you're number 2. We have kings and queens. Kings and queens have unlimited money, unlimited resource, and we'll never see them. So don't think you're a king in any network, in any business, in any profession. Kings don't live, and they usually have neat fitting or unlikely ends, just like Julius Caesar. You never see the night coming. If you always think you're on top, it comes pretty sudden and you're just walking in the park. So here's the structure. It's a basic structure. On a platform type of scale, it would be something to the effect of that, which is just a simplistic pyramid. 33 at the top, 32, 32. That could be God, if you're religious. That could be the Father, which would be Jesus, and this could be the Holy Ghost. And you can see that has been around us for a long time. You can speculate a lot. You can say that it's going to be a pyramid within a pyramid. You can say it's going to be 666, which is, this is a 6 point to a 6 point. That could be the Star of David. You could even do a 9. So if you do 6 to 6 to 6 to 6, you start to get into countdowns and sequences. I'm not really getting demonic, but there are 4 corners, and if one corner is off, you have a 6, a 6, a 6, and a 9, then you start to see that it circles back. If you go into trig, or you go into anything that has any kind of alignment, use a right angle, use angles, you have a 90-degree corner. I'm speaking a little bit fast because I think my video feed won't let me go over a certain amount of time, so I want to cover a large basis, a lot of area, and ensure that you are on point when I start to put together other videos. This is just pretty much a video leading into 9 or 10 other videos that I'm putting together to cover some broader, wider perspective. So you have a 90 and 90. 90 is 180. So 360, right? You think 360 is around the world. It's not. 360 is 2 right angles, and then it stops. So you go right to here, right to there, in sunset, there you go. Then you have another 360, that's the full circle. 90 plus a 90, so 190, 2 90s, 3 90s, 4 90s, you get a full circle at 720. 720, it completes the circle. Circle is complete, you start getting into other things. You start to see that as the circle is complete, things begin to come together, and you see that you can make a network. So what I'm trying to do is build a platform where the individual on a box, which is 6-sided, 3-dimensionally speaking, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We want to work together, and I don't know you, you don't know me. We might have trust issues, or you don't want to know if we want to dedicate this kind of time to start contributing to something bigger. So what I'm going to do is put Facebook things together, build a website using GoDaddy. I want to walk you through everything that I'm doing, so you can steal everything that I'm putting together from me, so that we can have a war. Because I'm competing against Facebook, Uber, all the Goobers, and everybody that thinks the internet is just some easy piece of pie to sit back, everyone else do their work for them, and make money when it's off balance. What I'm trying to do is populate a different form of the internet. Internet presently goes down and over 0, 1, 0, 1. Somebody looks down through 0, 1, finds a code. It goes a box within a box within a box within a box. The 16 to the castle, to the 4, to the 4, to the 4, to the 4. Something's off. They find a break. So you go 1, 2, 3. That's broken. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. In an ideal world, it's supposed to go, and this is it works perfectly. 1, 2, 3, 4. You count 1, 2, 3, 4 out, and you try to figure, well, what happened? This broke. Well, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, and you send 2 back. You send a relay here and a relay there. That goes back to the queen. This one goes to repair and stay, and see how you can repair the one that's broke. When the queen gets it, she goes to the 16, to the 32, to the 33, which is king. She relays to the other queen. They reflect back. King reflects back on the dead, which is the Walturi, which is the 48. The 48 come back, spiritually praying, whatever you want to call it. They come back with a 60. It takes time to pray, to humble yourself, to fast. 60 comes back, and they have, say, pray more, pray longer. Think about this. It's the 96. It's the 99. It's the 99. Everyone wants us to be the 1%. Everyone would like to be on the top, but you don't want to be among these 1 because they're dead. So the dead communicate back down, comes back down to the king. King makes a decision. It's not a split-second decision. He decides that there's 4 castles, and that break, you need to send a relay back via the 2. They're still fighting on the front line. Castle does the 8, which is the bishop, 4, and the 2. You have 2 pawns, 1, 2. You have the old way of meeting, 1 king, 1 lodge, and 1 center. And they meet, and the one dies, so they build a castle. They build a cathedral, they build a temple, they build something dedicated to the one person that died, building and making this unification. What they don't tell you is that who put it together. So they put it together, they made the unification, it rises, it falls, still at war, still at peace, they just made a building. That's the 48, the dead. That's the 33, 2 kings meeting, secret meeting or not, there's another king in the middle that's dead. King 33 is deceased. You start to see that it's balancing out on our grid to our network, and that you can see my email, I hope. Again, it's DrewBailey, DrewBailey 99939 and 6 at Gmail, or DrewBailey at Facebook. What I'm going to do is use Facebook. I have too many accounts to count. I'm going to use Facebook as a means to relay how a chat room, chat forum, in order to just put it out. I'll friend anybody, If you're stupid, I'll kick you out. Stupid being just trying to antagonize or cut it all down, but to the point of what I was just saying, in regards to the 99, the 99, the 33, the 33, I could go through numbers all day. What I want to do is make it so there's a platform here and here, and as I build it progressively, and I put out these additional sites, these additional videos, and I start to cover different topics, I have a better idea of my timeline. I just lost about 20, 30, 45 minutes talking, so I'm talking a little bit faster in this one because I didn't know exactly how long my video app on my computer ran, which I should have known before this, but like I said, trial and error. I'm learning, you're learning. We want to see where it goes. So this is going to happen, we're going to come through. You're over here, there's no real kings, there's lots of queens. Always will be, always can be. They can go the whole span of the board. They have all their jewelry, all their castles, all their means, all their ends. And what we're going to do is I'm going to put some ideas from the web-based design classes and courses I've taken, and I want to present ideas on how to design webs, how to confront real-world issues, and I want to ask you, as my base, or as my teachers and mentors, to mentor me in how to put together a broader base. And the broader base, what it's going to work on is just conveying a greater idea to the masses. It's going to be an all free marketed network. I'm going to put it together so that a pawn at 2 can go to a 4, can go to an 8, can go to a 16, like an open door policy. Once you hit up to the higher open doors, you don't just walk in. You hit the queen, you never are able to see a king, at least not in my theories, because the king only gives out direct delegation orders as to how to break up a breaking piece. If you have 1, 2, 3, 4, this one breaks, king says anytime something like that happens, you break, one goes this way, one goes that way. So it always breaks by 2. Everything within the chart, within the numbers, within everything that I'm writing, everything I'm doing is on an even keel basis, excluding a few select numbers, which is the 33. The 48 breaks down by 2. The 48 is, like I said in my other video with Valtteri, 48 deal with death, 48 deal with equalities in numbers, 48 deal with 24, with 12. On the hierarchy, you pass the 48, and once you pass over death, they go as high as the 96. And then they go the 99 to the 99. They never cross back to being 33 because you have to be spiritually humble enough to realize that it's pretty much the same energy, the same theme going back and forth. The platforms that I'm going to be making, they're going to be multi-dimensional. I'm going to cover some things like 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional, 4-dimensional, 5-dimensional. I'm going to do squares. I'm going to do some stuff that someone that's taking advanced trig or advanced calculus, or I don't even put on the 500 free college courses you can take. You can take courses from MIT, Harvard, Stanford, Yale, Oxford, you name the college. They have these free courses online that you can sit in, pretty much get their syllabuses. You can do video interactions with the professors. If you're having a struggle and you want to really like one-on-one with a dean or a college professor that has an adjunct professor that runs this artificial intelligence, as some people says, or you actually want to like with some struggles that you're having in an advanced, beyond advanced mathematical class with somebody from Stanford, Harvard, Yale, there's ways that you can actually reach to them through some of these free sites that they put out, some of these free information that they put out through. You can just Google 500 colleges for free and you can check that out. In regard to this, I'm going to be putting out forms like this. This is the primal form that's going to go and overlap with everything. It's a circle, it's a triangle, it's a square, and it looks like it's within a square, but it's kind of a broken square. When you start to get that into dimensionals, it starts to get interesting because you have a triangle, a pyramid, that goes into a box, that goes into another box, that goes into another box, and then you have a circle that could be a cylinder, that could spin like a star, that could go into another star, that could go into a flag of 50 stars, that can go into another star, to another star, to another star. When you do 150 star, it's a 5-pointed star, 6-pointed star, 12-pointed star. Each star folds into another star and another star. When you get CIA, DEA, NSA, FBI, all the government initials, you start to realize that the stars are all the same stars, and it's just it's continuing cycle, circle back on things. And though it seems like I'm a little bit scatterbrained, like I said, I'm trying to conserve time and make sure I cover everything. This is a pre-Exxe. Every Exxe is going to have a number, light up title. I cover some things about gel. I recently served some time in gel. I've got a college degree, served in the military, defended nukes. I've been part of some pretty interesting tests. I've been infected with anthrax. I've been infected with multiple genomical anomalies that have probably messed up my brain to a certain degree, but at the same time enlightened me so that I can be free. I studied Kundalini, raised, born Catholic. I won't really go into detail too much into that one until later. Exxe. Exxe 1 is going to cover cons. It's going to be an interesting one. Exxe 2 with addition, keep going, 2 through 9. I'm going to do 2 through 9 Exes. Exes means X and X. So Exxe. Ex-con, ex-cop, ex-judge. People will be able to voice their opinion on video forums, on anonymous forums. If you want to chat in, type in, join the forum and you're a cop, your job's at risk, or you feel that you're going to say something that's going to put you in jeopardy. Unlike YouTube, unlike all the other hyped up false media propaganda forums, you can say things that are going to be a little bit more extravagant. I need help from programmers, hackers, whoever you want to call it, so we can regain our constitutional minimum rights to have what they used to call free speech, which we are kind of slowly getting deteriorated. If you want to be a Con X or an XE is like an ex-CEO, ex-person of knowledge, person of wisdom. You can hate both. You can hate the cop, the judge, the lawyer, but unless you start to understand what the law is, you practice one side or the other, you don't know who the X is, you don't know who the Exxe is until you start to look at it from their eyes, and you're actually down in the trenches. You could be an ex-soldier or Soldier X, you could be Soldier X's wife, you could be a vet, you could be whatever you want to be. But what it's going to be about is taking all my forms, 2 through 9, 9 through 2, and 1, and combining them in a multiple tasking collective that's going to work on across all the margins of the internet. And it's going to compete against all the bigs, the Facebooks, the Audibles, the designers. And the beauty of it is it's not going to be out. It was founded on $200,000, $250,000. It's going to be founded by the ideas that I have, the time that I want to dig in to put in the trenches and just put it out there so I can have good people that know what it is to be a hacker, know what it is to be hunted, know what it is to start a nonprofit organization, know what it is to go on faith, hope, and dream. And I'll even have a donate button. You know, nothing in life is free. Maybe kick back some money for me when you take one of my ideas and you make a lot of money. Doesn't matter. I've worked for Fortune 500 companies. I've worked for McDonald's, Taco Bell. I worked from the bottom up more times than I count. I started out working on a dairy farm, moving pipe for 10 cents a pipe. And you don't know the value of money, in modern day 10 cents a pipe, until you start working, moving pipe in hot summer and you're getting paid what I consider pretty low wage now, but right now, presently, I'm in between. I do contract work. I work with a lot of other companies. I'll get into that in Exxe 10. Well, that's actually I've been where I'm from. What I came to the point of doing this, along with the convictions or the con errors or any of the cons, I did serve a little bit of time. I'm not claiming to be a hardened criminal or anything like that. I'm actually trying to put it out so that we can get a forum going that's going to free up a lot of attention, kind of make it so that we're not cattle and chattel. And if you study slavery, chattel is the black man that brought to America and had his own little means of slavery, put in books like he was owned and harvested as if he was going to be meat, which is to a certain degree our modern Gestapo, monopoly, habit, prison system, where unless you have the money or unless you have the means or unless you have the resources or secret society connections or the know-how in order how to avoid being wrongfully arrested, accused, and convicted, you pretty much are hunted. So, and it's not a black thing, it's not a white thing. I've got black in my blood. I've got a lot of different races in my blood, and yeah, it's very, very enthralling to think that we as a whole can stop being so naive to think that it's going to take one person, because as I said before, never a 1 and never a 10. I only work between 2 and 9. I'll never stand alone. I believe in God. I believe in the power of Christ. I believe in eternities, omnipotence. I believe in something higher being that brought me to this point to not preach to you, but to come to you to say, I need two. I need help from you. I need help from other people that are saying, hey, your idea is good. I need criticism. I need people to kick me down. I need people to beat me down. I need people to physically, verbally, emotionally. I don't necessarily mean physically in the sense in my real life, but it may happen, to put me to the point that I toughen up, I strengthen up, and I resolve the issues within what I'm building, so that I can make it a collective design that if I die tomorrow in a car accident, you watch this video, you could continue forward with it, and you could build off mine to build another, to build another, to build another. So in regard to that platform, it's in red because it's in red because it's important. In regard to the platform, I started out with 32 to 33. It all goes in a square. You can think about it in circles. It goes to a 16 to a 16 to a 16. If a 16 has a break or any point with it, if you do a 4 square, a 4 square, and a 4 square, and a 4 square, and 4 comes off each of those. So 16 is 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. That's your 16, right? If something is broken within your castle, you're pretty much in for a long day, a long night. 1, 2, 3, 4. I always do it like this. You might think, mathematically speaking, it might be more equative to do it a different way. But if something is wrong and some of your 4 are getting cut down and you just realize it a little bit late in the game, your 48 are in there just chilling, watching it happen, and doing their body counts and making sure it all goes down right. Well, you got 1 dead, you got 3 remaining. That 1 is going back to the queen, the castle, to get buried or left on the battlefield. 3 are still battling, they're caught in heavies, and they need immediate assist. Well, the 4 keep coming down. You still have 8. They have horses behind these 4, but these are just simply 4s, right? It continues forward, it continues back. In regard to a network or a grid, what's going to happen is I'm going to continue forward, and I'm going to look back, and I'm going to relate on mistakes. I studied some with people. I went to school with Shaytard. I don't know if you know who Shaytard is. He's kind of a little bit preachy himself, and he's pretty smart. He built a multitasking network, sold it to Disney, made millions, billions, trillions, I don't even know, but he made a lot of money. Same college I went to, I never really met him in person, I don't think, but if I did, it was when he was at the bottom, kind of broke. I went into art, of all things. I also have a non-destructive testing certification, so I know a little bit about science, a little bit about radiation. The task is going to be, I also have first place in state e-commerce and trade, web-page design, web-page development. I have a couple degrees, but I don't have any official high-end Harvard, Stanford, Yale. This is pretty much to compete against those people. So the only way that I can compete is by making it so that we're competing together on a broader scope and that we're working together. And even though I don't know you, and you could be a hacker in Istanbul and you're laughing and thinking it's going to be fun to ultimately destroy my life by cross-hacking my social security card, my Facebook, my email account, and just ruining me, it's not going to be hard because I've already been through a lot and I don't have a lot more to lose, so let's go for it. But if you're here and actually you find it amusing that I can even put this together and as an individual have the balls to do it, then you're going to start to see it's going to be a multiple tasking network. I'm never going to be the 33. I'm never probably going to be the 32. I'd like to be the 33, the 32, but what I'm doing is making it so that collectively speaking, which the internet is one big collective, we're going to work in regard to making a different form of internet. The variance of the internet is going to make it so that like everyone on the internet that studied Microsoft, Google, and they think top to bottom, right to left. If you're Arabic, you think left to right. If you're American and English, or Chinese, you think top to bottom, English think, or American, or anyone educated from all the R's, the R's, Stanford, Harvard, you think right to left, Arabics think left to right, Chinese think top to bottom. What I'd like to do, because Common Core is actually starting to change how our children think, and it's starting to influence into all other bases of education. I want to make a computer program or start to approach virtual reality with the limited knowledge I have on artificial intelligence and virtual reality. I want to start, instead of doing ones and zeros, where you sequence down into a code, I want to start to do Common Core methodology of approaching what the internet is. Instead of it being 1 to zeros and you think about it as top to bottom, right to left, I want to start to do where it's a three-dimensional internet, a virtual reality internet where you drop and you see that it's going to be a pyramid within a pyramid within a pyramid. As each pyramid meets, you start to see that there's going to be a point that you can put on glasses, or you can put on gloves, and you can flip and you can spin things, and you can actually do this multitasking, origamical verge where you can put on lipstick or makeup or something to that effect and feel and sense everything it is on the internet. You can spin circles and cues, span them out, push them together, mold them, pull them, hold them, flip them, fold them, and it's already pretty much above us and around us and beyond us, but you have to have the clearance, you have to work in the secret facilities, and you have to have the ability to be adaptive and overcome a lot of very low, deep airports that once you fly into them, you never really come out right. And that's another subject that I'll probably never cover in any EXE, but I've said too much or enough as is. And there's certain points that I want to touch on in regard to Freemasons. Freemasons, I suspect, are 33, the 32. The Illuminati, they put everything into this big circle that's in your bill, Dead Sea Scrolls, Latin, Arabic. They're incredible researchers, historians. Skull and Bones, they're pretty much society's machine. They roll, they grind, they tear apart, they lead. They're typically tend to be politicians. What else did I not cover? Any other names that are supposed to be important to modern day society? Gadian robbers. It's all the same people. Once you get high to a certain point, you're covered by all the same corners, all the same angles. Your days, your decisions are all decided. When you stand to vote, when you stand to see, when you stand to breathe, when you stand to go meet your kids, when you stand to fly in and fly out, it's just a bunch of strings going around a bunch of other strings, bound a bunch of other strings by these old houses. When I say old houses, I mean hundreds, if not hundreds of thousands of years old, of people who have conjunctively hidden these messages within books, the Bible, the Holy Bible, by the power of 3. What you put out is 3 times strong. If you're a good person, you convey goodness, it'll come back on you 3 times strong. If you read just simply 3s in the Bible, the Holy Bible, King James Bible, you'll see 3 is a constant continuum that cycles in, cycles out, and cycles down. I'm going to stop here because if I still have time and I didn't overlap on my video again, it's going to be an interesting ride. I want to make some time to probably put together a couple other videos and start touching the XE1, see if I can cover it. Presently, I've done just enough to either get you interested or to get you to stop listening altogether, which is good because I need people that can maintain their focus long enough to hear me to the end, and also people that are willing to develop and give me some knowledge and insight to mentor me, but to also be willing to see what I'm trying to put together on a broader scope so that I can do chat rooms, newsletters, open forums, non-profits. I'm touching on homeless a little bit. I've had a few experiences recently where I've had people I've lost, people that I've had go numerous roads in my life and numerous routes that no one's beyond being touched. I'm not trying to sit here, wear a tie, look better or above anyone, but I know a tie demands respect and commands people to listen to a certain extent And I'm trying to present this so that I can present to a wider basis, so I can touch on 8 tables, I can touch on EXE, XCon, ConX, and I can touch on creative by design. Things that are going to make it so that if I can see them in the real world, even if I don't get paid and somebody takes one of my ideas and runs with it, goes to the top, and I see an idea and I say, you know, I helped create this, whether you're with me, against me, or whatever you may be, it's going to be pretty cool to see some of this stuff come about. And I know it's coming about. I worked with Amazon, Boeing, NASA, and I worked with Electric Boat. I worked with the Navy, the Army, all services, all branches. There's technology available to us and around us that should be on the open free market, but for whatever reason they're limited. So I'm going to close with that. XE1 is a little bit different. Like I said, I'm no master con. XE2 through 9 or 10. I originally planned on doing 100 XEs. It's a little bit too much to think I'm going to do 100 XEs, but as I build up each XE, it's going to expand. When you want to reply, if you find an XE interesting, or you find one of my topics interesting, reply with the XE number you found. Every form from here on out I'm going to have an XE number, and I'm going to explain briefly the XE number, and then I'm going to go into detail as to what I'm touching on. Just put in your title of your email or your tweet or your video and replying to the information I'm putting out, what XE you're replying to. It could be critical. You could be screaming, yelling at the top of your lungs, saying you hate it, it's not true, that I'm the Antichrist, or that all the 666s, or the 4 corners, to the dimensional realms, to transversions, to multiple planes, to seeing that there's this overlaying combination in everything that is around us, and everything that I'm going to be put on the board, just as I ran through today, actually has its own way of reflecting back to a broader, smarter, and people that are laughing, have a higher education than me, and see just how simplistic this is, start to acknowledge and understand too, and have to immediately say, in simplicity you find complex algorithms, complex notions, complex growth. So even though the internet is just an up, down, a right, and a left, and ones and zeros, if we get the internet to be a pyramid, or be a 3-dimensional realm, where you could fall in with 3D glasses, or have technology advance and develop to the point that you can put on goggles, or you could have a surgery, which may even be possible today to be part cybernetic, part Android. Okay, Google Glasses, you can do some research on those, and they're pretty trippy. They're filaments over what they say is your eyes. If you ever wear contacts, imagine your contact lenses could be some kind of filament that maybe could be a little bit more advanced technology than you realize, and people can monitor and dictate as to what you're looking through and what's looking back at you, and see on a broader scope as to how your brain functions. Bill Gates is shooting up an average of 200 satellites every 2 to 5 years. There's this war that's going on, space war. It's been going on in 1984 before. SpaceX. I worked with SpaceX. I worked with Amazon, like I said, in his incessant race to dominate what he's calling just the box control. There's a proclamation of 500 scientists that came together 3 or 5 years ago, and they pretty much said that artificial intelligence isn't bound. In the proclamation, these are atheists, they don't believe in God. They said that we hope that you find God, that you pray to whatever higher being or higher power it is, because we've opened up something that we're not sure how to close. Those scientists obviously aren't running for the hills. They're actually developing pretty incredible things, technologies, advancements. And as old as I am, I'm still trying to keep up. It's a constant effort attempting to retrain myself, and retrain my thoughts, and try to stay out of trouble in the meantime. Like I said, pretty recently arrested, kind of questionable causes. But I gotta see the inside, and see it in such a manner that I think the people on the inside should be freed. It's not just a history repeating itself. We have slaves, we have a slave trade, and we have a slave system that's going on, and society is naively blind to it. We have to open our eyes to what the prison systems are becoming. We're arresting, we're detaining our prophets and our apostles. We're arresting and detaining the true people that should be out and should be preaching to us as to what this real society is becoming. It's the age of Aquarius, the age of awakening. We cannot deny that we've been asleep for a long time. Everything around us, everything among us, our world is testifying to us, and we're just saying that it's going to play out on a whiteboard, and it's not going to drop, it's not going to fall, but people are waking up all around. I'm one of those people that woke up. It took some pretty hard-hitting events, and I'm sure I'll have a few more that's live, but I hope you can join me. Again, my email is going to be DrewBailey9996@gmail.com. Facebook is DrewBailey at facebook.com. I have a Twitter, DrewBailey99996@gmail.com. I'm new to a lot of this. I'm going to be putting together a GoDaddy site. That's where I'm going to launch this off of. Should be in a couple of weeks now. So this might be a second, third, or fourth revision. Hopefully you're on ball with me. Hopefully you like the fact that I'm sitting up here and putting this together so you can see not only a little bit of Freemason from some of the research that I did. And though I'm not a member, I've known a few. They don't exactly announce themselves, but they're good people. Some of these secret societies, when you might be hated, some have demonic undertones to them. It's just names and titles. We're all human, and we got to move beyond our skin to see that there's change coming. In regard to some of the alien artifacts or things that you'll hear from these top scientists that put out a proclamation about extraterrestrials or the books they're writing, I know some about it. Like I said, I went down to some pretty interesting places that I never really came out right from, and I'm hoping to right the wrongs and open up some eyes to some people that will come from these scientific backgrounds or points and actually not necessarily stand behind me, but start to help me so that I can build this up. In regard to costs, fees, donations, what I'm asking, there will be a donate tab. What I'd really like to do is have people mimic and broaden and improve what I'm designing here so that it can grow into something bigger and we can redesign and build on a lot of things. So I appreciate your time. I hope to hear from you soon. Just drop me a line, drop me your email, what you're interested in, perhaps, and what you liked about my presentation. If you want to donate, feel free. It's going to be an ongoing task. I'm not going to stop until I hit the point that I feel that it's either progressed to what was necessary, or I take it from GoDaddy where I have to pay monthly or yearly to have it all be free so people can reflect back on this. So I'm immortal, you know, not just a whiteboard, not just somebody standing in front and saying this out to the world, multiple countries, multiple languages, but somebody trying to reason through some things that are progressively changing and happening and need to be addressed. So thanks for your time. Look forward to hearing from you. Again, email DrewBailey, all lowercase, 9996@gmail.com. Facebook, DrewBailey. Open forums on both. Friend you all, accept anybody. Just keep it professional and have a good day. Thank you. Bye.